This is the hike I took yesterday. I started, like I usually do, on some of these hikes anyway, from my backyard, which is right here. I'm in Peralta Trails, this is Peralta Road, and I live over here. And so I started from my backyard here, and this time, to avoid the dust on 77, I went up along the Powerline trail here, and then I took the road up here. There was a lot of ATVs on this road, so there was a little bit of dust on this road as well, but not as bad as there usually is on 70. And then I cut over here and went up. Basically, I wanted to explore a couple of things. One, the ridgeline up here. I've been up here before, but I wanted to see how it looked, and a lot of flowers were out, and I will post those, and I'll actually show them in this video as well on Facebook. I did have a couple of VR pictures that took, well, 4 of them, one here, and one here. Gives a nice view of the valley, and because they're a little bit of elevation. And here I took one of the construction. All this is, like I've mentioned before, is under construction, and it's been flattened out entirely. I did get a chance to talk to a neighbor, in fact the gentleman that lives right here, also another neighbor that lives over here. I've talked to both of them, and they're really upset because they have made this road really big. You can't see it here, but I talked to this gentleman here, and he's not too happy. And what happened is, I guess they had a bunch of ATVs come, because they widened this road, a bunch of ATVs come down here, and because they did, they damaged a lot of the home properties that have been leveled, at least the landscape for some of the homes that were getting ready to be built. And I guess the builder was upset. He did call the sheriff because they are not supposed to come through here. This is supposed to be emergency exit from Peralta Trails. I actually hiked this. It was interesting coming down. It was like about 6 o'clock when I came down here. I started at about 2 and ended about 6. Let's see how many hours it was. It was about 10 miles, and it took me 5 hours and 13 minutes. So I ended about 7 when I got home. It was getting dark, and have really some nice sunset pictures right here. Let's fly it and see what you think. My speed wasn't very good, about 2.0. That's my average speed when I hike. And I did stop to take a lot of pictures. That's my excuse. So this time I started from my backyard. This time I went down the Powerline road here. There is a fence you got to jump here. I jumped that fence and then went along here. And there is another, you cross the road here, then over here there's another fence, as we talked about on my last video. But then I went up this road. Instead of going farther over, I went up this road. I did cut over here to take a picture of that pond. Basically it's for game, I guess, but there was no water in it, and there's no way they could hold water. It was weird, but it's been there for a while. I posted some pictures of it, and I'll show you in a minute those pictures. Let's speed it up a wee bit. So I went up here, followed this road. Like I say, there was a bunch of ATVs. Now here's the fence. You can't see it here, but the ranch is over here. And so you have to go down this road to get to Peralta Road. So I went down that road, got to Peralta right here. It'd be nice to be able to cut over. But what I do there, because this is a little bit off the road, you can see the trail here, but it's off and there's not a lot of dust. And so that's what I have to do to avoid the dust. So I go up Peralta Road, and then I followed this. I had the bike ride. The last bike ride I had was up this way. But this time I did it a little bit differently. I because I was hiking, I cut up here. This goes up to the ridge line, and that's where I took the first VR picture, and then it went up farther here. Now there is a nice bike trail. The bike trail gets, right here it's not very good. I think I posted that before, but it's not very good right through here. And I think there's another bike trail around here if I remember right. But once you get up here, it's pretty decent. And I did, when I got right to here, I did see some people with ATV that actually come up, and it's fairly steep right here. They'd come up in their ATV and they were looking at the mountains. And it was kind of a nice day. When I got there, it was about, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I would think. And then I followed this trail, pretty decent trail. Oh, here's the trail. Okay, there's the trail right there. And went to the top, and then it came down. Even for a hiker coming down here, wasn't trivial. I'm amazed that they could get right there, and I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. But it was really steep. And then I followed the road here. I saw one guy on a motorbike, one lady on a mountain bike, and then I came over here and I followed this road, and there's some interesting things there. And then there's a trail here. This is not a road here, it's a trail. And followed that. It's a bike path. It goes all the way to Kings Ranch Road, which I've done before. I wanted to find a way to cut across, but I really didn't. There is a way to go to what do they call it, Vortex Hill, which I've gone to before. Now, right here is interesting. Used to be a ranch here at one time, and I got some pictures of the. Oh no, I take that back. I went down there. This is the gate. The ranch is up here farther. Yeah, the ranch is right there. The old ranch, old building there, and it's kind of interesting, intriguing. But then I followed this, and this is Kings Ranch Road, and I went down Kings Ranch Road. Not a great hike, at least down Kings Ranch Road, but it was interesting. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go over and look at what they've done for the access road, the emergency access road. And I did get a chance to talk to, like I mentioned, this gentleman here. I was talking to this gentleman because he was hiking down this way. And I talked to this gentleman, he was sitting in his backyard looking at the sunset, which was really nice. And I talked to him, and I guess they've had some problems with people going right through there with the ATV. And not nice, really not nice. They've actually widened this road. It's huge for emergency access. And both neighbors seem to think that they're going to do more with it, but they can't because that's what it's supposedly, that's how it's zoned. And the only reason that somebody actually, they complained this gentleman complained to the sheriff, and the sheriff said, well, we can't do much about it right now because it's under construction. So, but I guess he complained to the owner of this land that was doing the construction, and it turns out the people in ATVs were causing such damage that actually the builder actually put big mounds here. It was easy enough to get through if you're hiking, but it was kind of weird. So I stopped there and talked to that gentleman too. And they're not happy. There's been a lot of saguaros along here that were cut down, and I did see some that they were storing, but they weren't storing as many as they've cut down here. They just chopped them up, and it's kind of sad. But anyway, and so then I went back down to where I started. There is still a fence. Where is the fence at? Right here, there's a fence that's locked. It's still locked. There's a lot of, they say there are trails that go through Peralta trails, But there's a couple places. Also on a bike ride I did the other day, where is it at? It's right here. There's a gate here, but it's locked too, but it's got a trail poster. It says it's a trail. So anyway, I might post that later. I haven't posted that one yet. It was kind of an interesting trek. So that was basically it. Hope you enjoy it, and the pictures to follow. What a beautiful day, and the flowers are out. It's incredible. Isn't that nice? Wow. Got a little bit of elevation here, but look at the flowers. Wow. Here are some of the pictures I took on my hike. It was yesterday. The flowers were out. They were just gorgeous. This was interesting. It was actually a pond, I think, for game one time. But it was built a long time ago, and it doesn't hold water anymore. It was kind of weird. You say game water, but no game, no water. Here's a picture of 5057. And a nice shot of the soups. This was interesting. As I headed over across Peralta Road, as I came across to go up hiking further to the north, I had to come through the gate here, and came through the gate, and they actually had a hand sanitizer for touching the gate, which made a lot of sense, I guess, in today's market. Nice cactus, a lot of flowers. This is the creek as I'm going across. I'm already on the north side of Peralta, that particular one. Again, 5057. I like that peak. I don't know what it is about it, but now this is the path that goes up to the ridge line. It is really not very good for bikes. I don't think I'd want to ride it on a bike, but I think you can go farther down this road and then find a way to get up there. I think I've done that before on a bike. Like I say, the flowers were out and gorgeous. And the California poppies were out as well. This is a pointer, and I think there was another path maybe in front of this thing that goes to the Quartz Ridge. Now this is on the ridge line that keeps going north, but well, northeast. And Quartz Ridge is over this way, I assume. But it was a nice little sign. And I think I've taken the bike up here once before, as I remember. The poppies around the cactus, more flowers. Some of the cactus were blooming, they were gorgeous. These were right on the ridge line here. I couldn't resist getting these with the 5057 in the background. Interesting rock. Again, 5057 with some of the flowers. Purple ones are out too, these little purple ones. I don't know what they are, but gorgeous. Now let's just looking to the east, and there's the ridge line. I did take a VR picture here. I was amazed at how many flowers were out. Now this is the road coming down off of the ridge line. There was, now right here, I saw a gentleman, two gentlemen with an ATV up here. They'd actually gone up here. And I'll tell you, just coming down this, hiking, was not easy. I mean, there was a lot of shell and rocks and stuff. I had to be careful coming down, especially with these guys up here. I didn't know if they were going to come around and come down. Now these are different purple flowers. They're just gorgeous. Now this is on the way, this is part of Cougar Trail on the way back. They say the parking lot, but you have to go to Kings. It's the Kings Ranch Road. This is really not a parking lot there. It might have been at one time. And then there's the intersection to go to the Vortex Trail. And I've done that before, but this time I wanted to check out something else. There was a lot of cattle out. I didn't get pictures of all the cattle I saw, but a couple of them were good enough to stick around. This rabbit was moving, as you can tell. This guy's saying, "What are you doing looking at me like that?" This is the ranch. I can't remember the name of the ranch, but it was built a long time ago. It's the foundation for the house on the ranch. Rabbit liked it as well. We're almost to Kings Ranch Road. I think this was some of the masonry that was part of the, maybe it's just junk, I don't know. More flowers. Now this was on the way back. I came up Sleepy Hollow. I wanted to check out Sleepy Hollow, and so there was some nice flowers along there. Some gentleman has actually put this together. It's a flag with crosses. Kind of interesting. This is off of Sleepy Hollow. Now here's the access road. Like I mentioned in the video, that they've actually put some dirt here. It's getting kind of dark, so the picture's not great. But a whole bunch of dirt they put here so people on the ATVs couldn't get through. And then this is the looking the other direction. And here at the top, the gentleman I spoke to said there was a really nice saguaro here. They just chopped it down. They didn't, some of the saguaros they're saving, but they didn't save this one. He was not a happy camper. There's the sunset, was gorgeous. This is another panoramic view. Now this is one, and I think you'd appreciate it more on Facebook because it's a 3D virtual, as is this one. Now here is a picture I took of the sunset, but you can see how flattened the whole area is. Again, this is the VR picture. It's not quite as that dramatic, but give you an idea what they're doing. I love the soups. And here's the, I was going a little faster when I was moving. I did do a lot of stops. I took a 30-minute break a bunch of times. One talking to the neighbor and they're on Sleepy Hollow. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this.